Three, two, one, hit the music. Yeah. Welcome to a fresh new episode of the Fitness Avengers, where we fight fat, frustration, and fitness fakes. I'm your host, NASM Master Trainer Tony Ariola from TotalBodyProject.com, and I'm on a personal mission to help you simplify the game of fitness. Are you tired? COVID's going a little bit long now. It's like indefinite. The the group project from hell that doesn't end. And a lot of us are struggling throughout this time. Some people have gained up to 16 pounds. And in today's show, I really wanted to help you on things that you can focus on to make sure that you're attacking weight loss in the right way. So if you're tired, frustrated, that ultimately leads to failure. And that's when people usually come to see me. So today we're going to tackle exercise, things that you need to do, how diet plays into this. We're going to address cheat days, see if we can find some of your blind spots, and look at plans to really help you get through this COVID state and get on the right side of that weight gain. We'll have our Ask the Trainer section. Our client spotlight is going to be featuring Dr. Guzman, who lost 41 pounds, and we're actually working up to the launch of my new Get Me Skinny online coaching program. So I'm excited for the launch. Still working out a few bugs, working on the back end, but it'll be ready soon. So thanks for jumping on board. It's good to see you guys in here. And the first thing we want to see is we want to avoid the media madness. So if you're thinking about attacking weight loss, the place that you want to go so that you get good information is not social media. It's not Instagram. It's not magazines at the checkout counter. It's not the morning news, because those things are just going to give you the short-term fixes, the instant gratification. So those guys are just going to play up to the things that you want to hear. Nobody wants to hear weight loss is going to take 3 to 6 months, or 6 months to a year, or 2 to maybe 5 years. Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to hear 5 to 10 days, 21 days, 90 days at the max. And when we think about in those short terms, we're really not thinking about the long-term gain, because if it was that easy to solve, you would have solved it a long time ago. If weight loss was one thing you could pick up a magazine in 15 days, 10 days, we've all had that amount of time, you would have done it by now. So don't fall victim to that, because that is really, if you're going in through like a magazine approach or like a quick fix approach, then you're really setting yourself up for failure. And after you start failing, once or twice, you're a lot less likely to keep kind of working on this. So make sure that you're setting yourself up by not falling victim to that media madness. The next thing is these cheat days. Cheat days is something that, people are always telling me like, oh, this is my cheat day and I can eat whatever I want. The problem with that is that calories work exactly like a budget, like a monetary budget. So when you look at Rebecca, and I've used this story before, she decides to save money. If she saved, $5 a day for a whole month, right? Every day, $5 a day, $5 a day, $5 a day, $5 a day. But at the end of the month, she bought a diamond ring. Does she have money, or is she in debt? Of course she doesn't have money. She's in debt. And if you're saving calories on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but Friday you have a different meal, Saturday is a cheat day, and Sunday's a free-for-all, then now you're really stuck. And then you're back at the beginning, or maybe worse off, because it's a lot easier to eat calories than it is to burn them off. Remember, the ratio is 5 to 1. 5 hours of exercise for one bad meal. And if you're like way backwards on that, then that could be why you're attacking weight loss the wrong way. So don't be like Rebecca, because she's pretty dumb. The next mistake I see a lot is cutting out carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates are carbohydrate. The key word in that is hydrate. So what carbs do is that they hold water. And when people cut out water, if your body's 80% water and you cut that out, what happens is the weight goes down. So you get this initial pop of 5 to 7 calories, 5 to 7 pounds of weight that you lose right away, but it's only water weight. So what that means is that your body looks exactly the same, because you haven't burned off any of that fat. Remember, fat is matter. Fat you can grab. Fat chills right here on the side. That's not water. And the other problem with cutting out carbohydrates is that you're cutting out a lot of fruits and vegetables, and your brain is about 3% of your body weight, but it requires 20% of the nutrition. And if you're not feeding it proper fruits and vegetables like your dark greens, your broccoli, your blueberries, you're not giving the brain the right nutrients that it needs to perform well. So not only are you hurting your waistline, but you're hurting your brain as well. And I'm assuming you really want to have a good brain. I mean, it's it's probably pretty important to be thinking straight and be be knowing what's going on, especially now in the world. So you want to think clearly, and that only happens with fruit, like with fruits and vegetables and a good nutrition program. So cutting out carbohydrates is really a way to set yourself up for failure because you're not going to be able to maintain it, and you're not going to feel good. You know, I see people with the peanut butter and drinking the olive oil, and don't understand that. The next major mistake I see when people are attacking weight loss is not doing any resistance training. Now, resistance training is really strengthening the bones, the muscle tissue, the joints. Bones are in a constant state of reformation, so it means that they're always growing. So that's really important for the resistance training. Not only that, but the resistance training will help you build lean muscle, and muscle over the long term will raise your metabolic rate, which means that you'll be stronger, you'll feel better, you'll look better. But it's going to really help you as far as like tackling that weight loss because you want that metabolic rate to go up. It doesn't go up a lot. Like you're never going to be able to eat whatever you want. That is a place that I hope doesn't exist. I've looked for it my whole life, and so far haven't found it. So I kind of forget where that goes. The next mistake I see is neglecting nutrition. And this is where people think like, oh, I go to Orange Theory, or I just have to start running and the weight just kind of flies off or melts off. That's not true. 90% of what you look like is only because of what you eat. So if you're not eating right, if you're not paying attention to nutrition, if you're thinking exercise is the only way to lose a weight, it's just not going to happen. Weight loss only happens, and the changing of composition only happens through nutrition. That's like 90 to 95% of it. And I would argue that the biggest part of the nutrition is not only like knowing like, hey, I should eat this many calories, or this is what a good balanced meal looks like, but it's having the mindset and the determination to stick to it. Meaning that when the days that you're not disciplined, the days that you don't feel like doing it, the days that the kids are staying up late, the days that you feel like things are really hard, those are the days that matter the most. And when you focus on nutrition on those days, that's when you see the biggest types of gains. So neglecting the nutrition is a huge problem when it comes to weight loss. If you're not paying attention to the food, it's never going to happen. Like I'm just sorry. Another big problem that people see, and this is more of a blind spot, is what's your life situation like? Like, let's take a look at the world right now. We're living in the COVID world. Things are crazy. I don't know what your situation is at home with kids. The kids might not be going back to school. I know that's troubling for a lot of people. Some people have to go to work. Some people are not going to work. There's people working from home. They got to share an office with their loved ones. Whatever your situation, if the situation is pushing you over that critical stage where you feel like you're not handling it, where you're anxious, where you're depressed, where you're angry, where you're frustrated, all these different life situations that are stressors, if that feels overbearing, then it is not the time to start a weight loss program. Not the time. It is more the time for you to figure out what's going on at home and figure out how to get your mindset right so that you can have the right balance, the right method, the right attack for weight loss. Because that health and fitness is, remember, on those quadrants, it falls in quadrant 2, which is important but not urgent. And if we don't handle that first block, which is the crisis block, which is where a lot of people are right now, then you're never going to get to that second spot. So take a look at it in the mirror, see how you're feeling, see how you're adjusting with today's stressors. And if you feel like, hey, I got everything kind of under control, I need just a little bit of help and I can really get some gains, then that's where you kind of want to move towards. All right, emoji party. Hit those emojis. Whether you're watching live, you're watching on Instagram, watching the replay on Instagram, watching the replay on YouTube, just make sure you hit those likes, hit those emojis, and it will make it happen. Make it happen. The next problem that I see of people attacking weight loss the wrong way is that they don't have a comprehensive plan. They're just going to do something that their friend told them to do, or something that somebody said was a quick fix. And when you don't have a plan, you have little to no chance of success, which is going to lead to what? Another failure. It's going to lead to more frustration. It's going to lead to you quitting again. So before you start thinking about, attacking weight loss, think about having a plan. What's the plan look like? And the plan should incorporate everything. It should incorporate your lifestyle, your limiting beliefs, your support system, the nutrition, what's your dietary restrictions, all that stuff. What kind of athlete are you? Are you sleeping enough? All these different things will really lead you to a plan that's successful. If you don't take those things into consideration, you're not going to be successful. So honestly, you might as well, you might as well not even try. The next big issue I see is missing the basics. Now, I've been training now for about 17, going close to 18 years. And still, the number one thing that I think people need to understand when it comes to health and fitness is sleep. Because if you don't get the right amount of sleep, I know it sounds counterintuitive, like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And if you're not sleeping, that's that's where you're going. You really are going to suffer really bad days. You're going to get chronic fatigue. You're going to get sick more. Your brain's not going to be operating at its full capacity. You're more susceptible to dementia, Alzheimer's, all these different things that happen from the lack of sleep. Not only that, you're going to be cranky, irritable. You're going to have a short fuse. It's going to be really hard to make good decisions. So if you're missing the basics like sleep, sleep is the first thing that I address with my clients. And sometimes we talk about sleep for months until we figure it out. Because I know in my heart of hearts, if you can get the sleep down, your life will change. Things will get a lot easier. But it's a lot of work to get that sleep down. That's just one of the basics that have to happen before you can think about more elaborate, like, oh, I'm eating 1,300, 75 calories with, 72 grams of protein. Before you can ever get to that level, you need to master the basics. The other one's water. Your body's like 85% water. Your brain's mostly water. If you're missing water, it's going to be really hard for you to perform. And again, even like a 3% dehydration will affect your performance 15%. Like your cognitive ability, all these different things suffer from just not having enough water. And if you think your brain, needs water, your body needs water, it also helps with satiety. So now you're talking about you're going to be eating better. You're going to be eating a lot less because you're properly hydrated. And that's an easy way to check. We hit the song. Clear P equals healthy me. Clear P equals healthy me. Clear P equals healthy me. So whenever you're thinking about if you're hydrated enough, if you want to check, go to the restroom, pee, and then make sure it's clear. If it's clear, you're good. You're home. Now let's look at the last big problem that I see with people and where they fail a lot is that they don't have any accountability. Now, in my book, Get Me Skinny, available on Amazon. I always wanted to do that. So now I'm glad that I did it. In my book, Get Me Skinny, I talk about having an accountability alliance. So somebody to help you. And usually an alliance where you have 3 people, somebody is at home who can see you every day, somebody at work, and then somebody who trusts, like a professional, like a trainer, like a fitness expert, somebody that knows what they're doing. And if you're attacking weight loss, like almost any other goal in life, you really want somebody to help you, hold you accountable so that you're doing the work. And if you're not doing the work, that they're having the right conversations with you to move you to the right place. Like exactly like Doreen said, I'm talking exactly to her because that's exactly what we talk about. Hey, where are you at? What are you doing? What are we struggling with? And why aren't we moving closer to your goals? And it's all coming from a place of love because ultimately what I want for my clients is the best for them. I want them to be very successful. And that happens from holding them accountable. And if they're facing challenges, what are those challenges? And the good thing about working with a trainer is that I have so much access to so many data points, meaning that I've done this over and over with a lot of people, so I know what works best. And you don't have to struggle with find the answers on your own because I've already done that. I've already done the heavy work. I found the answers. Your job is just to kind of listen and have somebody hold you accountable. Now we have the Ask the Trainer. It's how fast can I lose the weight? It's a Great question. I get asked this a lot. And you can lose the weight. Probably the professional recommendations are 2 pounds a week is the max. Those are real pounds, 2 pounds a week. But anywhere between 1 to 2 pounds, even half a pound a week is good, because if you lost half a pound a week, 52 weeks, what's that? 36 around. Is it less than that? 25. I don't know. I don't have my. Let's take out the calculator, but it's half of that. So as long as you're moving in the right direction, don't worry about the timeline, because the time passes by anyway. I mean, we're looking at this COVID phase right now, where it's been almost 5 months. I think we're like at 4.5 months of quarantine. Now, if you lost a pound a week for 16 weeks, we'd be in great shape. 2 pounds, you're at 32 pounds, and we all being like in dynamic shape. But the problem is that we can't measure it like that. We're always thinking like we're in this perpetual finish line that keeps moving back as we move forward. So if we keep not progressing and the line keeps moving back, we'll never get there. And that's where people kind of get stuck. So instead of thinking about how fast you can get there, thinking about what habits do I need to employ in my life so I never have to get there again. And by building simple habits that fit into your lifestyle, then you can really make this into a lifestyle. And you want to be thinking about those micro changes that you can employ over the long term, instead of thinking about this is going to be a sprint, go super fast, and I'm done, because that's not how it happens. So let's look at a really awesome success story that I've had with my online training, which has been awesome. So this is Dr. Guzman, and Omar's been my friend for a really long time. We went to school together, and he moved up north to go back there and become a doctor, and he's the head of the ER in Visalia. But when he came back, and we would always work out together, he had gained all his weight, and I almost didn't recognize him anymore. And so he reached out to me, and I was trying to figure out a way to help him. And this is how this whole online thing started. This is about, close to 3 years ago. And we started working together online, and we did a lot of, research and development, a lot of R&D, really trying to figure out what works best for him and how to help him really move those pieces. And a lot of it was just that accountability. Omar's a smart guy. My job was not to tell Omar what to do. It was just to hold him and to figure out what challenges that he's facing. And thanks to his hard work, his perseverance, we've been working online for a few years now. Omar ended up losing 42 pounds, and he ended up keeping it off during this whole COVID craziness that's going on. So congrats, Omar. Super proud of you. And he's one of the first really big success stories that I've had on this online training. And I'm really excited to start kicking this off and bring this to more and more people. That way you can have an accountability partner. You can have somebody that cares about you, that wants your success, and is willing to do what needs to happen in order for you to be successful. So congrats, Omar. Proud of you, brother. 41 pounds. Let's make it happen. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Let's hide Omar. If you haven't yet, join our Fitness Avengers. We're over 50 people in there now, working hard every day to make sure that we get through this COVID period. Because right now, guys, things are scary. It's the group project from hell, and we get the lowest grade. And the problem with that is that if we keep not listening to what we should be doing or not doing or taking care of each other, then we're just going to make this thing a lot longer. And it sucks, because I'm frustrated. I miss my clients. I miss working out in the gym. I miss a lot of things. And really, but now we have to know that we might be in this for a lot longer than we think. And the problem with that is that if we don't know when this thing ends. I hear people saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna start getting in shape when this COVID thing ends. I get back in the gym." We don't know when that's gonna happen, and we don't know what kind of cost it's gonna have to your overall health. I mean, if you end up putting down too much weight, or if you're already overweight and you have obesity, you have diabetes or sleep apnea, back pain, whatever it may be, if you don't pay attention to those things now, these problems only get worse. So if you need help, reach out to me. I'm really excited to help you in any way I can. This is the reason that I do these shows, is that so you can watch, get inspired, pick a little bit of my brain, and know that ultimately the purpose and of my life is to bring health and happiness to more people. And I know right now we need to, the cliche word, more than ever, but it really is. I really feel it is my calling to get up every morning, to work hard, to really master these things so I can give it to you. You can take it with you, share it with your loved ones, and we can all lead a happy and healthy life. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the show. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you on the skinny side. Cue the music. Dun, 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 dun. Is there music? Sometimes there is. Goodbye.